Broken Wheel has gotten too powerful and he's going to be nerfed severely. Dancer seems to be able to pirouette away from survivors. And Thief might be viable now? I've got a lot more adjustments to talk about in today's episode, so let's begin. Welcome to This Week in Identity 5, a weekly show where we talk about all the adjustments from the previous week and we talk about the adjustments that are coming with this next patch coming Wednesday or Thursday depending where you are, as well as speculating about some things that could happen in the future and doing some other things as well. You can call me Phoenix, so without delay let's begin and discuss all the changes that happened last week and are supposed to happen this week. Last week the new Hunter Nayad came out and the community has been quite vocal about her. As with every new release and every new character, there are a lot of people who like to play them, and usually every 2 out of 5 matches is usually against the new character. But in the case of Nayad, I feel like it has gotten much worse and there are a lot more people playing it than usual. Probably 2 in every 3 matches has somebody playing Nayad. And I feel like some people are getting a little bit sick of seeing her, but she is a lot of fun to play and I have heard a lot of positive feedback from people about this new hunter. I do think that the community thinks she is quite balanced. I haven't seen any complaints about her being OP or too powerful. I have seen some people wanting to nerf her and then a lot of people arguing to the contrary, so I'm not really sure. I also don't think that NetEase is too worried about her being too powerful because they haven't said anything in this next update to do with her, so I'm pretty sure they're happy with where she is, and maybe they'll change her in the future, but I'm not too sure. I don't think it's one of their priorities and I don't think they think there's a problem with her just yet, unless somebody finds some secret strategy with her that we don't know about. Also, the warm-up event for the 3rd anniversary started last week and there was a lot of story to read through, but I didn't read through any of it. But it is leading us up to the main event that's going to happen with the next season, with the skins for Sculptor, Gardener and Geisha. By playing some matches and completing some of the discovery quests, you can slowly work your way through all the events and get some special rewards. Last week it seemed like you could only finish up to Chapter 2. Chapters 3 and 4 should be unlocked this week, or that's what the rumors say. Moving on to some of the changes that are supposed to come this Wednesday or Thursday, I guess you could say, and they're currently in the test servers. They're not completely confirmed and the numbers are not completely confirmed because they are still in the test servers, but more or less this is what we are going to expect with the next update. Entomologist is finally getting nerfed, and I really don't want to be biased here, but her readjustment has made her overpowered and unfair for hunters, and I am a hunter main, so I do know how it feels to go and try and hunt her. Being able to use the bees to block a pathway and then instantly recall them and fly away. It feels like there's an infinite duration to the bees as well, and it's just almost impossible to chase her. In most cases, I will give up on chasing her if I see her, especially at the beginning of a match. With her new changes, her bees are going to have a shorter lifespan when they are pushing someone, or in case she's also pushing herself. It's going to be reduced from 120 seconds to 100 seconds instead. This is a significant change and should give hunters a little bit more of a chance to kind of deal with her, since it does feel like the bees are quite infinite. Also, the movement speed when they are not pushing anyone will be reduced from 5.991 meters per second to 5.6 meters per second. I do feel like it's very difficult to hit the bees when you're trying to pick up a survivor or something like that. 2 more adjustments have been made, one less clear and the other buffing her assist abilities. The first reads, "The number of hits the swarm received will no longer be reset after using it." I'm not really sure what this means, but we'll have to see when the update comes, because I'm assuming it means that if you recall them, they don't have 2 hits anymore, they might only have 1. Also, whilst pushing another survivor, the movement speed for the bees has been increased, so technically I think they're moving her from being a kiting character to also being more of an assist character, or at least trying to push people in that direction. Magician's chair debuff has finally been removed. A lot of people have been complaining about this for a long time because this debuff, this weakness has existed for a very long time for Magician, since when he was originally really good back in the old days, but since then they didn't get rid of it, and compared to a lot of other survivors, Magician is already quite weak, so being able to see some buff to him or removal of the debuff means that he might be a little bit more viable than he was before, but still not enough in my opinion. Although in China I do think he is played quite often. As for another welcome adjustment, we have Cowboy's Lasso. If you ever played Cowboy's Lasso and realized that when you've highlighted something like a pallet or a cipher machine and you try to pull yourself towards it, it just cancels. Well, that literally happened to me yesterday, so yeah, it happens all the time. Well, now they're going to readjust it, so every time that you are pointing at a highlighted palette, you will get pulled towards that. And this is something that I really think was necessary, and I'm not really sure why it wasn't like this in the first place, but I guess that will have to remain a mystery. Toy Merchant has also been buffed. The catapult will now fire you further, from 17.7 meters originally now to 21.9. This is a pretty big increase and will definitely help survivors use this in more of a multi-team setup where maybe you want to be able to fire your teammate onto a platform or something like that, and before you weren't able to because of the height difference or something like that. I think this is a welcome change, but I guess we have to wait and see if she'll be used in any meta or rank viable matches. I'm not really sure, but we'll see soon enough. Going on to Dancer, some people are going to be very happy about this change, and other people, like me for example, are a little bit worried from the Hunter side. Dancer has also received a huge adjustment in the form of her being able to pick up her music boxes. This will make her so much more versatile and won't limit her to choosing one area to kite in or designate a kiting area for the rest of the team, because before she would place a box and then that place would now be the place you have to kite if you want to be able to use the box ability. Not only that, but she's got a complete new ability. Once she's in the area of a music box, she can pirouette in an arc shape. I don't really understand which defines the arc shape. If it's, so you can go either arc to the left or arc to the right. I don't know how that works. I think it does work in the way that you're facing and then the shape of the music box, but it happens very, very quickly and will be very easy to use when trying to dodge a hunter's attack because it happens almost instantly. It does look fun though. Thief has also been given a new set of abilities that might actually make him viable. He's now able to place up to 5 flashlights around the map, and they'll be lit up like projectors almost, and they will be able to blind the hunter if he's looking at them, or at least remove some of the abilities for a short period of time. To be able to increase his blinding ability, they've cut down the time it takes for someone to be blinded, for a hunter to be blinded, from 2.5 seconds to 2 seconds, but they have counteracted that by the hunter being able to resist this ability after multiple blindings. Each time that they get blinded, they get 0.1 seconds longer for them to get blinded again, up to a maximum of 2.5 seconds longer, I believe, something like that. I do feel like this is going to be very painful for a lot of hunters, and this will definitely be used a lot in multi-team compositions where people are in voice chat, but I don't know if this will be meta. It will definitely bring Thief up to where he's deserved because he did need a buff and he did need a change, so I'm very excited to see what this will do. Maybe he will become something that people use in rank. Moving on to Breaking Wheel. He has been a top pick in the IVL league that's happening in Asia right now. He's winning most of his matches, or at least tying most of them, although he has lost some as well. We are starting to see people using the controls better and really powerful and really good controls on some of the top players. To deal with all of this abilities, I feel like NetEase has gone a little bit crazy with the nerfs, but they've increased his transformation time by 10%, slowing down the pace of the game, I think, at least giving the survivors more chance to transition away from him when he's transforming. Also, his spike explosion ability, called Ridicule, takes slightly longer to happen, 0.4 seconds exactly, that will give time for the survivors that are just outside of the radius to get out of the way. And his cooldown on transforming into his wheel form has been increased from 15 to 18 seconds, that I think is a crazy nerf, and I don't think that's exactly fair. I do think they could have increased it by a couple of seconds, possibly by 1 second or 2 seconds, possibly 16 seconds in total would have been a nice thing to have, but maybe he's just really broken in China. We'll have to see if this will be something that really affects the player base or if he will stay more or less where he is already. But I do feel like there are going to be a lot of angry Breaking Wheel players who have been practicing for a long time only to see him fall down in the meta. Rank has also had an adjustment where if you're above tier 6, that would be Unicorn or Cyclops or above, you will now be able to join a team of 4 or also a team of 2. Yet if you do go into a team of 4, the hunter that's playing against you will be able to ban 2 survivors, not only 1. This is probably to give hunters a better chance against really high tier voice chat teams that are really unfair to play against and are very similar to, for example, tournament competitions where at very high levels. So I do think this is a good move from NetEase, and I do think that they are thinking about the hunters a little bit, even though it doesn't feel like they are, and they are really trying to buff the survivors to incredible levels. In other news, the rank essence accessories for the next season have been announced. We have an S tier accessory for Disciple, which is great because she is now very popular since she is meta. We also have an A tier accessory for both Toy Merchant and also Magician, and I'm really interested in seeing what they will do with Toy Merchant because they haven't given her an accessory yet, I don't think, so it'll be interesting to see what they change. Maybe it will change the effect of her glider or maybe of the catapult. This will be very interesting to see. There are also more rumors circulating around the new survivor that's supposedly coming up soon. I think her name is either Aida or Ada, and there are some leaks around her, but I'm not too sure about her. I haven't been following those leaks too much. Wu Chang is also supposed to receive his new skin, the Phases of the Moon, this week, and his new accessory called the Eye of the Day that does really look like an S tier accessory, but apparently is not. It's an A tier accessory, and it might be free. Now, let's enter the talk in the manner section of this video, where I respond to some of the comments from my last videos. Dangan Kima writes, I hope I pronounced that right, he made the tier list others were scared to make. Someone's got to be brave enough to rattle up the community and make the tier list that nobody else would. Jesse Campbell writes, the Black Phoenix hair is always S tier. Well, now that I've cut my hair, yes, but before I cut my hair, not that much. The one in the video was pretty terrible, I must say. It was horrible. But thanks. Kira writes, what if we counted Eli's owl? That would be unfair if we counted his owl, because we'd have to make a tier above S plus tier where the postman's dog would be, and I don't think that would be very fair to the other survivors. They might even get a bit jealous. Connected to this idea, Hopia Identity 5 says, pet tier list when? Oh, don't mind me. Here is the part of the video where I ask you what you are most excited for about this week's update. Do you think any of the characters will be broken after this update, or do you think the changes aren't big enough? Tell me down in the comments below, and remember to tap that like button whilst you're down there, and subscribe if you'd like to have some more weekly news every Tuesday about the past patch and the upcoming patch. Take care, guys. Bye bye.